Hey everybody, and welcome back to the second part of December's coin overview. Now, if you want to keep up with all my tips and all the stuff I'm up to, then follow me at jamesbull_UK. So let's get started with the rest. So this might split the audience a little bit with ETH Connect. However, there seems to be a whole trend of this hex coin, gold reward, ideal coin the other day. You know, there's loads of them. This whole staking platform thing has just gone absolutely bonkers. And you know, 229,000 people have signed up to ETH Connect, which is just crazy. Everyone has seen, you know, what happened to BitConnect. You know, there's 8 million tokens in circulation, so you know, really low amounts. Obviously, the price is going to rocket. They're saying that you know, $200 a token by August 2018. I think that will happen way quicker than what they're predicting there. You know, just based on BitConnect, 12 cents to over $275. Now, we all know that these potentially might be schemes, potentially might be scams. However, every day I see people say it's going to close, and every day I see it's open and people trading and doing stuff. I have, you know, and to the extent that on BitConnect, somebody actually paid me to join, which was crazy. I used that money. I staked it. It's making money, but I haven't pushed BitConnect at all. I think, you know, if you want to get in these things, you have to get in at the beginning. Obviously, this is going to launch December 20th, so you still have time to get involved. You know, there's several income streams, as we know. You know, signing people up, and also through the staking and the lending as well. But obviously these guys are trying to go with the credit cards and a whole bunch of stuff. So that would be really interesting to see where they go with this, because obviously they're trying to increase the amount of income streams for themselves to obviously pay back. The other thing is, if you miss BitConnect, then this is probably your opportunity. And if you do want to get involved, then there are links at the bottom where you can get involved. And you know, we've seen people make crazy money on these sort of things. So could be a good short-term opportunity from December into January. And obviously we're going to see a huge spike in stuff in February, which I'll talk about a bit later. So my next coin is Ethos, which was formerly Bitcoin. So they've had a whole rebranding. Sounds a little bit generic, Ethos, but everyone's loving it and all the rest of it. So it's not really about the name. You can call it anything really. You could call it rubber dog turds. It doesn't matter, as long as it does what it says on the tin. That's what people are worried about. So also Superman, he's created the community around this very clearly. It's kept the price quite stable in some quite torrid times for the alts. And we've seen it shoot up to $2 recently. Starting to tank now, obviously. As all the hype and everyone taking profits. So again, I would say $1.20, $1.30 would be another good entry point on this. Universal wallets, so you know, no more messing about. I know I must have 10 different wallets at the moment. It's just pain in the bum, you know, trying to keep them all together. So universal wallets, absolutely loving that. There's rumours of a card being linked to it and stuff, but you know, that's just rumours. I wouldn't take that with a pinch of salt really, because there's so much other stuff that they've got in the pipeline, which is great. And I think there's plenty more news to come on this. Now I have a portfolio of about 6 or 7 coins, which I invest in heavily, so 5k plus, and this is one of them. So everybody knows I've got a little bit of a soft spot for TenX. Cards will be out for Europe by Christmas, and that's really good news. So I can't wait to get my card, and I love looking at my wallet and just seeing it. Like, I put 70 quid in it to start off with, and then obviously they took the fees out for the card, and it's still at £150. So that's just cracking. I absolutely love it going in. I love cryptocurrency. It's ace in it. So the other thing is banking license. This is going to be a huge game changer for TenX. I've talked about Centra, you know, you've got Monaco Card, you've got some others trying to dabble in this area. Once this banking license gets put through, everything else is going to be left behind. This is going to be huge for these guys. You've also got Julian Hosp. He's so active, he's so transparent. He's just amazing in terms of a leader, and it's exactly what you would expect. You know, again, he's learning as he goes on this journey as well, and you can see that in the videos. but you can tell that he's also giving 150% every single day on this project, and it's ace. And the fact that you can go and visit the offices, so I want to go over to Singapore now. I've got friends out there, which would be great to see them, but also go and visit and actually meet Julian, which would be pretty cool. They're also working on a whole bunch of other products, and this is going to be linked to some of the banking license stuff. Once they get that, I mean, the doors are going to get blown off here. I can see Visa buying these out within 5 to 8 years. And also the other thing is that you're getting residual income off all the transactions. And a lot of people have said, well, people aren't going to spend their cryptocurrency, they're holding on for it for a long time. But things like by Dash, Litecoin, I must have spent something like 15 grand in transactions on Litecoin, buying miners and all sorts of things. So, I don't think that's correct. A lot of people are accepting it and a lot of people are trading it between each other. And I know some stuff that I'm doing at the moment, I'm accepting cryptocurrency. So, people are using it as payment. So I just don't think that in the long term that's even going to be an issue. Short term, people might not want to let go of their Bitcoin or whatever, but there's plenty of other coins that people will start using, like Litecoin, Dash, which are just incredibly fast. This is highly undervalued where it is now. I think once that banking license kicks in, you're talking probably in the region of about $10 or so. So I'm accumulating on this one while it's cheap, and then obviously when it skyrockets, I will probably half. So the next one is Koban Hood. And I'll let you into a secret. This is my second biggest holding. And it's doubled from the ICO price. So I'm making an absolute killing on this one. No fees for trading. It's a no-brainer. Absolutely no-brainer. I like using Binance. I like using Bittrex. I find those platforms quite easy to use. I hate Ether Delta with a passion. I think it's pants. So they need a good platform like this. As long as it's... from some of the stuff I've seen, it looks a little bit like Binance, and if it's got that and free trading, this is gonna kick ass and really take the volume from a lot of other players. They also underwrote the Cyber Miles ICO. Now they weren't even going to start doing this until next year. They've already got their first one under their belt. So again, with Cyber Miles, check out some of the ICO reviews. Not going to go into too much detail now, but if you go and buy some COB on Ether Delta, put it into Koban Hood when the platform goes live, and if you do that before the 5th of Jan, then you're going to get a whole bunch of Cyber Miles for free. So it's 2 for the price of 1, so you can't go wrong there. There's only 244 million in circulation. So when the ICO took place, it didn't reach its full potential, which is great for us because there's less in circulation, therefore the price will bump a lot quicker. And I've had to reevaluate some of my calculations based on that. So, really exciting for this project. I think once the platform goes live, that's when we're going to see some absolute huge price movement. And also, there's big investment vehicles out there, because I've been working with guys in Switzerland, multi-million pound funds and stuff like this. So these guys are proper serious, where we come to the market with maybe a few grand or even 20 or 50 grand or something like that. These guys are coming with 20 million. They ain't messing about. And I've advised them to use Koban Hood, and they're looking into that as part of the options. And some of the main reasons is, 1, the free trading, and 2, you get tenfold on the swing trades, and that's what they're in for. They're into swing trade as much as possible, and having that tenfold, because in most other sites at the moment it's 5-fold, so that's a massive attraction to those guys. And by holding the COB, they also get 50% off the swing trade feeds as well. So absolutely huge, and I know that these guys are looking at it. And also the platform will be ready to go soon, so that's going to be a huge plus. Once this goes live, as long as everything goes smooth, I think this is going to be an absolute winner into end of December and also into 2018. So my next coin is Substratum. Now, you're probably thinking, why is this number 2? And when we get to the end and you see some of the numbers, that's where it's really going to kick in. However, first of all, I think at ICO there it seemed a mixed opinion, even by YouTubers as well. I knew that this would, the potential for this was going to be huge, so I went in on this one. There's a new website that's going to be launched. They've got a nodes group in action, so they're looking at potentially you could be able to run a node and not hold any coins. I don't know how true that is at the moment, but that's just what I'm hearing on the grapevine. Also, it's going to free these oppressed countries. So in China, you can't go on to Google and Facebook. You know, you've got to go through VPNs, and then they're doing all crazy stuff with that. So this decentralized internet is really going to change the world. You know, the way I see it, it's going to be like, you know, like on the Terminator, they got Skynet, and when Skynet goes live, that's it. Everything's fucked, basically. It's going to take over the world. So that's what I see sort of happening with when this goes live. And I know they're doing loads of tests in loads of different countries, and all of those countries have been very successful to date. It only has a 40 million market cap. So if you were looking at some of the companies or coins out there where you're looking and thinking, you know, what is the next bargain, then this, I think, you know, people are looking at under the 10 million, but you know, they're quite high risk. You want something that's got a decent project, decent potential, and also a fairly decent market cap. Now, this has the potential to go so much further, and I'll explain why. Google has a market cap of 547 billion. Now, I'm not saying that Substratum's going to get there, but it definitely has the potential to do some absolute damage. And if Substratum got to that, it would be $15,000 a coin. So even if we take 1,000th of that value, I'd be happy with that investment all day long. Actually, I could retire pretty much. So, you know, there's huge potential with this project. And all I would say is,
trust me.
Can't go wrong with a bit of Arnie, can you? You're probably thinking, no, not Bitcoin again. Now, thing is this. I was calling this at $750. I was trying to get people into Bitcoin. They thought it was a scam, loads of stuff. However, it's absolutely rocketed. We hit $8,000, which is just absolutely nuts. And you can probably guess what's the biggest thing in my portfolio, as I keep talking about this one. However, I have my own views on Bitcoin. So first of all, Bitcoin Gold is just a complete scam. Bitcoin Cash is better than Bitcoin. So you're probably thinking, well, why am I pushing Bitcoin? Well, I'm going to explain a few things. So first of all, I think Bitcoin Cash will be better as everyday sort of currency. However, it's got huge competition with Dash. I think Dash is better than Bitcoin Cash, basically. So you've got all that competition. I think Litecoin's better. I love using Litecoin. I pretty much pay for most things in Litecoin. It's so quick. It's so easy to use. The wallet's great. Hats off to sort of Charlie Lee. He's absolutely smashed it with that. However, Bitcoin will remain the daddy. And the reason for that is this. No matter if the Chinese do this or that and all the rest of it, right? In the world, if you take most of the population, so 95% of the population, they own 5% of the wealth. Now the 5% own 95% of the wealth. Now I know from talking to friends in Switzerland and bankers, and some of these guys were like high up in German banks and stuff like that. So, you know, they're proper money boys in that sense. They're structuring financial tools and products and all the rest of it. And it's 70% Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash features like 2%. I've seen the documents and all the rest of it. Can't go any further than that on this. But all I can say is that, you know, these boys are coming in for big money, and Bitcoin is what they're going after. They're not interested in Bitcoin Cash. You have people like Michael Novogratz talking about that, you know, the pension funds will be coming to the crypto space very, very soon. Next 18 months or so. So that's I think that will push the market cap over $1 trillion. It could even push Bitcoin up to $1 trillion if those are, you know, some of the numbers in pensions that come along, because that is trillions and trillions of dollars. We're going to see a huge spike again. I'm looking at $13,000 end of next year, $20,000 at least. And I think the momentum will just keep going on this. I don't see Bitcoin as currency at all. It will become a storage of value. I know it wasn't what it was ever designed for, but it's just that natural thing that sort of happened. You know, Bitcoin Cash is trying to be, you know, that everyday currency, but it's got some stiff competition with Litecoin, Dash, you know, some excellent coins out there. Some that I haven't obviously mentioned today. I mean, Litecoin isn't in this today. I mine Litecoin. I'm just getting a nice little stash of that, and I use that for buying my machines and stuff like that. So, but Bitcoin is my number one, and those are some of the reasons. And also, just one more thing before we go, think about it like this: I've just talked about these guys, the bankers, and all what they're doing. Now you take 95% of the population, so the mass majority. They only have 5% of the world's wealth. However, the 5% that I'm talking about have 95% of the world's wealth. And they're talking about going into Bitcoin Core. So that gives you a little bit of idea. When these guys, when they start to really put their money in, we are going to see this absolutely explode. So if you're new to cryptocurrency, don't know how to build a portfolio, strategy, technical analysis, then there's a course here, links down below. I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's following the channel. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. The amount of views I've got on some of my videos is just nuts. So I really do appreciate that. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @JamesBull_UK. And if you want all of my calls, then you need to be in the PT Cryptocurrency Community Group. All right, thanks guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon.